All right, guys, so welcome to another episode of the Talking Point Show. My name is Idafi Matthew, as you're gonna. You love to call me the Elevator One of Sports, and I'm ready here to respond to the questions you raise or join in on the talking point that you guys are talking about. The only way to join this show, like I've always said, follow us on our Twitter handle at Elevated TV Radio. Once you follow us there, you will see the pinned tweet on that handle. Click on it, you join the WhatsApp group, and then your voice will be heard on the Talking Point Show. That's just the way it is. Well, let me say this before I go on the show. Don't be among the people who make bad situation go from bad to worse. Be among those who find solution from bad to good and from good to better. That's just what I have to say before I continue on the show. And straight up, since we have a lot of people who's dropped their talking point, I think we should just run it straight. So let's listen to the first person who's got something to say here.
Hello, Elegbete TV Radio. My name is Matthias Jacob. The present location as usual is Korodu. It's a blessed weekend. It's a blessed morning. Today, I want to go local. I want to talk about our Nigerian Professional Football League. Now, the pressure is getting hit up at the top. Lobby Star at the top 1 week, Plateau United at the top another week. Now Enyimba is winning their remaining outstanding matches and they are moving up. Do you think Enyimba still have chance to become a champion of Nigerian Professional Football League for 2019-2020 season? Because if you look at it, among all the contenders now, if Enyimba can come to third, I believe there will be a big threat to Plateau United or Lobby Star. Though those two teams have done well for themselves. But do you think Enyimba still have a good chance to become a champion to win the league in this season? And what do you think is the problem for some of the team that will start very well, but at the end of the day, they will be falling out of the park? Akwa United start like a man on fire, but now, though they beat Enugu Rangers in the last week, but now they are not performing well as people are expecting them. Dakada also, many teams. Lobby Star is trying, Plateau United is trying, but do you think Enyimba will eventually become champion? Because to me, I'm rating whether between the Lobby Star is a team from my state, and also Plateau United is also my neighboring state. I want one of those teams to win the league, but do you think Enyimba stand a very good chance to win this year league at the end of the season, so that at least we'll have a different champion this season? And for the high goal scorer, who do you think will come first at the end of the season among all these boys that are fighting? You can see now that maybe 2, 3, 4 players, they are now on 9 goals, 8 goals, 7 goals, and the like. Who do you think will become a high goal scorer at the end of the season? Thank you.
All right, Matthias, as you corrected us on your name, I hope that I've been able to pronounce it very well. Matthias, now that I know that you're from Benue State, I think I'll try and visit you so that I can eat good pounded yam. And also you will offer me, you know how they say in your states, what people offer visitors. I'm joking. Oh. Okay, let's keep it on the local scene. I tried my best not to talk about the Nigerian league for as long as Shehu Diko is still running it. But, I mean, I've got to show you respect because you raised the question so that there is no bias to it. If you raise the question, it is my job to respond to it. For the highest goal scorer, I can't play God right now. It is hard to say anybody's in form in Nigerian league based on the fact that there are too many problems in the league, ranging from financial motivation, playing surface, inconsistency of the teams, and then traveling, logistic problem. So it's hard to say you are informed. You can be informed on the home front and not be informed away from home and all that. So let's leave the highest goal scorer apart. Let's pretend like I don't have anything to say on that. But the three contenders of the league are Lobby Stars, Plateau United, and Enyimba, who's the dark horse in a race that they are supposed to be the major force. Now, those their standing games are very good. One of the advantages that Enyimba have is Enyimba is the team that is most likely, in all of their remaining games, most likely to win away from home than Plateau United and Lobby Stars. Lobby Stars also can drop some points at home because sometimes they draw games that you don't expect them to draw. But I think they'll keep a very good home form and then find some results away from home if they can. Plateau United, yeah, they won the league once, so it's hard for you to discount them from the league right now. But I don't think that Plateau United is going to win the league. This is just my opinion. I might be wrong. I think the title race is between Lobby Stars and Enyimba at the end of the day. Now, the edge that Enyimba have is that there's no team who knows how to win the Nigerian league better than Enyimba currently. They've navigated this road before. They know how to get through it. They've knocked a lot of teams off their perch when they thought that they were already winning and Enyimba come out of nowhere to win it. With the way they are going, the more they go, they progress, the more, ginger they get to deliver. Now, talking about those teams that, start the season and don't do well. See, it is hard to blame players in the Nigerian league. Coaches, I'm not really a fan of most of the coaches. There are a few ones who are good. There are a few ones who are good, who are trying their best. But you see, the thing is, it is hard to even judge our coaches when they are not given the tools and the materials and the equipment that they need and then the freedom to perform. 90% of the coaches in the Nigerian league don't call the shot in terms of signing players, don't call the shot in terms of selecting players. There are some teams where the coach will select 11 players and then somebody somewhere will call. We've seen all of that situation. We'll call and say, no, remove this player. This player did not greet me yesterday when I came to training, so don't play him. So many things like that. This player is chasing. I tell him to leave his girlfriend for me. He did not agree, so he should not play. We've seen all of those kind of situations. So it's hard. The reason why some of these teams are not consistent is they start the season well, maybe because of favorable fixtures, and then as the season begins to progress, let's use Aqua for instance. Aqua is in one end of the country. There are some teams that are lucky to be at the center of the country. Teams like Lobby Stars, teams like Enyimba, where Rangers and the rest of them. They are in the center of the country. So from their spot to the south or from their spot to the north, it's middle. But when you have a team like Aqua, who is at one end of the country, or a team like MFN, who's at the bottom of the country in Lagos, to travel from Lagos to, say, El Kanemi, Meduguri, I mean, the stress, if you don't fly, if you go by road, the stress, the strain on these players can make a team that started on form to lose form. So there are a lot of factors that are involved. The size of Nigeria is a blessing, but at the same time, it is a curse, a blessing and a curse. Because if we are developed along the lines of our size and the roads are fantastic, traveling is easy, the network both by air, by land and sea is fantastic, we won't have problem. But unfortunately, our blessing is our curse. So we'll have to deal with it football-wise because it also affects every other person across board. I hope that I've been able to answer you. I'm sorry that I really can't pick on one particular player that will be highest goal scorer, but I hope I've answered your every other question. Thank you very much. Anyway, let's go to the next caller.
Hello, Elegbete TV Radio. It's wonderful to see Odion Igalo playing for Manchester United again in the Europa League, though he didn't have so much in terms of goal scoring opportunities. But moving away from football, I did like to talk about Nigeria's preparation for the Olympics later in the year. I think around June or thereabout. We've not heard so much as regards preparation, by athletes, aside from the fact that the Minister for Sports has been urging stakeholders to take over some athletes in terms of sponsorship. Do you feel Nigeria will do well at this year's Olympics in Tokyo? And there's even talks about even if the Olympics will hold as a result of the coronavirus that is currently spreading across China. But of course, the question is this time around, as regards Olympics, do you think Nigeria will do well in terms of what you are seeing from the athletes, trying to prepare ahead of the engagement? Wonderful job you are doing as always, like with the TV Radio.
All right, Olelewedu, when it comes to preparation for the Olympics, I think Nigeria is in sub-zero, not just in zero, but we're in sub-zero. There's no real preparation. The thing is, we have always succeeded at the Olympics based on luck, trial by error, and we've not learned any lesson. We've not thought, okay, this is time to prepare very well. And then one of the shining lights of our Olympic preparation is the soccer team, the men's soccer team that have won gold, silver, and bronze from Atlanta '96 to Beijing 2008 and Rio 2016. So it is hard now to think that we're going to perform magic and work wonders. I don't think so. 24 years on from winning gold in Atlanta, we're going to Tokyo. But we have the Tigers and the Tigers. We have a team that not based on the strength of their preparation, but based on the hunger of the players, especially those of them who play abroad, who see how the men national team, the US men basketball team performs and how they've scaled up, and then they've missed with these people, they've rubbed shoulder with them. So the association also influenced people. So they're thinking, okay, we can also do well. So maybe that extra bite, that extra push, just like the footballers did in their own time, maybe they will do us well. For the athletes, we have some athletes too. We have Blessing Okagbare. For me, we see the best athletes runner we have in Nigeria. We have Ese Brume, we have Divine Oduduru, and a host of others. But coming together, athletics is an amazing sport. It's different from football. You know, the thing about football is you can depend on the performance of other people to perform, but athletics, everything needs to be right at the right time. Everything needs to peak prime at the right time. So your mindset, psychologically, you need to be there. Your athleticism must be there. Your fitness, everything must be there. The sports minister asking people to adopt athletes is good. It's a sign coming out completely to let everybody know that we not get money, but I think the way he's gone about it is the problem. His approach is. It started the year. People said I was insulting him. I remember when he said he was going to, before the year runs out, they were going to do 3 world-class football pitches in Nigeria. And I know that was not possible. But people said I was insulting him. I was being rude to the minister. Let's see. The work has not started, though. We've not done it at Abuja, the Lagos stadium that they said they were going to revamp and all the rest. We're still waiting to see. Let's hope. I don't want to doubt anybody this time around. I'm a believer of Nigeria, so let me believe that it will work. But do I have hope that we'll perform well at the Olympics? My answer is no. When it comes to running, the American women right now are top of the line. Usain Bolt is no longer there, but we don't have men that would even compete and make the medal. So I don't think we'll perform very well. There is no other sport that we can go there and do well. The only hope now is basketball. Let's just hope that something would happen basketball-wise. Thank
you. TV radio. My name is Isaac. I call from Bagada. I beg. This Champions League. One player they ring for my head, Erling Haaland of Dortmund. I beg a little bit. She this player na human. I don't know. She na human. Man, the guy on your ball. I just need a breakdown about the guy. Where did he come from? Wow, the future of Dortmund with Haaland is bright. Please, I need a breakdown. Thank you. Striker from the La Masia to fill the void of Dembele and Suarez. Please, celebrate. I will need your analytical prowess on these issues concerning Barcelona. Thank you, Elegbete TV Radio.
All right, Isaac. Just as if I knew that you were going to send in a message, I'm wearing a Barcelona jersey. Brett Wade, it's not really about the age. I think it is more about the fee and the fact that it's a stopgap solution. It's not a permanent solution. So you're not going to go buy a player that is 25. You know, this is stopgap fix. This is like, let's just patch it when we get to where we're going. Like you're traveling from Lagos to Warri, and in Ore, you have a flat tire, and then you fix that flat tire, and then while you're going again, the tire bursts, and then you put your spare. And then as you're going, you now notice that your spare is leaking air. There's no place to buy tire, even though you have money. So you just tell the vulcanizer you see there, please, just give me any old tire. Let me put in my boots and keep it there while you just patch this one. When I get to Benin from Ore, when I get to Benin or Okada, I will buy a new tire. I think that's what Barcelona have done. It's a very, very difficult situation. And then they also looked at him and said, maybe he fits their style of play. He's the kind of player that will not take long to start getting goals. It's not a Griezmann kind of player. So they brought in a player that is different from Griezmann, different from Messi, that can just fit in a trio of Griezmann, Messi, and Braithwaite. That is also not Ansu Fati, that everybody thinks is the next Messi. I don't know why people are thinking like that anyway. Now, talking about the La Masia, I've asked these questions before. I'm still going to ask again. But I know that young players academy don't just produce players. You're lucky to find the best young players and then you put them in. So it takes a lot of work. Barcelona are putting FC Bescola all across the globe. But I am wondering, are they really investing players from the Bescola all across the globe? Because if you have so much Barcelona academy around the world and you cannot get, let's say, mandate them to give you the best left fullback, the best right fullback, the best center back, the best midfielder across the globe and bring them to the La Masia, then there's a problem. The aim or the purpose of it is already defeated. But let's just hope that they will get lucky. I think Barcelona need to shield their feathers like an eagle. Shed their feathers. Xavi is gone. Iniesta is gone. Puyol is gone. A lot of this players, Dani Alves is gone. Whether Neymar is coming back, I don't know. Let Messi go. Create a situation that will let Messi go. Let Barcelona. What are they afraid of? Messi will still eventually leave one day. So let him go. Give him all the honor, the testimonial, all the respect he deserves because he's become Mr. Barcelona. Then start afresh again and hope that within that period you will not win the Champions League, you will not win the league, but just accept it that you've done your best within this period. If you set a 5 years program like Ajax did, a 5 years program, it might even come good in 2 years' time. But if you're spending big money trying to patch this old tire, you still have problem. You keep having problem. So you need to start buying new set of tires, new spare, put the engine in the right place, and then let the car hit the road. I think by doing that, you would succeed more than this one. But all this short fix, I don't think it's going to work. That's my opinion. I might be wrong.
Hello, Elegbete TV radio show. My name is Joseph. I'm calling from Orile. I want to talk about Lampard because I'm a Chelsea fan. I want to know the issue Lampard is having with Giroud. Is it that he doesn't like Giroud style of play, or he's just being biased, starting young boys? He likes starting young boys, babies. Okay, let me call them babies. People that can't really make a difference forward. Imagine the lose against Manchester United. Immediately Giroud came in. He was spot on and got a goal that was disallowed. I don't know. I would like you to share more light on that Giroud and Lampard's relationship. Thank you.
All right, Joseph, I don't know why you're whispering, and you're always doing that when you send in your message. And I don't know if you're borrowing somebody's phone without their permission to make your call, but please try to be audible. I mean, sports fans are energetic, and I don't know if you're sleeping. Probably in a hospital bed. I don't know if you're in a hospital bed. Thank you for calling, and I'm sorry. But if you're not, please be alive. Come alive. Now, having said that, I think I said this before about Olivier Giroud and Frank Lampard. I'm surprised that they didn't let him go in January, because if you're fighting so hard to keep a player and then you can't play him, I have a problem. Frank Lampard started the season. The mistake he has made is he started the season with the young boys, which is good. But the thing about young players is they get to that point where experience is needed and they don't have it. They start to win. That's exactly what has happened to them. And I was thinking Frank Lampard would not decide, you know what, since Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, and the rest are winning, he will not bring in, the N'Golo Kante, the Jorginho, Pedro, Willian, Batshuayi, and Giroud. Give them constant run of games because their experience will help you navigate through this part. That's the kind of thing that Sir Alex Ferguson would do. Sir Alex Ferguson would bring in Berbatov, bring in Eric Lansing, and use them well. One thing is to have players. Another thing is to know how to use them. That's the difference between maybe Mikel Arteta and Unai Emery. Unai Emery is a good coach, no doubt. But I think at some point he forgot how to use players. And worst of all was communication. The body language of Frank Lampard, though, is that he's eyeing the England national team job. I might be wrong. He's setting himself up for the England national team job. So he's preparing players that he will use when he gets to the national team of England. But he's forgetting that a massive failure in Chelsea might not give him that chance anymore. There's also John Terry, who is breathing down the wings. His failure will also cut off the opportunity of John Terry, because once he fails now, Chelsea will not be able to boldly say, let's give another club legend a chance. It will not take a very long time before that will happen. It's just like Arteta. Arteta's failure will make it impossible for people like them Vieira, them Thierry Henry, and the rest of them to come coach at Arsenal. So you must succeed so that people will have faith and confidence. Just the same way Pep Guardiola's success opened the door for Luis Enrique and a couple of other former Barcelona players to come coach the Barcelona team. So that's some things you should put in mind. But I think Lampard is preparing himself for the Three Lions job. So he's setting up players that would play for him in the national team. The way he's used certain players, the way he's used Pulisic, the way he's used Callum Odoi, the way he's used Giroud and Batshuayi, leaves a whole lot for me to worry. He started the season very well, especially away from home. But recently, it's not done well the way you expect. And there are decisions that he has made that is costing Chelsea big time. Let's just hope that he will get over it and find his mojo.
Hello, Elevator TV Radio. Now, Oluwaseun dey talk. Our current location na Ketu. Yes, so I get three things wey I wan talk about. First one na this Barca signing, Braithwaite. Me, I no even understand the way Barca management dey do things now. Is it a must? They must sign a player by fire by force. And even though they wan sign, there are a lot of players, prominent young good player they can sign for the future. They just go to market and go buy any player wey they just like because of what? But don't no be small club like a good player no go fit, I mean go happy to join them. But this one wey they go sign now, I don't even understand. A whole player like that, what is he going to achieve or contribute to their success? I don't understand though. Please, I want make you throw more light on that. Another one now, all these our military or sports. I'm talking about the different sports we have when they prepare for this Olympic. It has been a common trend now for all the ministries. Is when competition like Olympic is near, you see them starting running up and down, shouting for finance for preparation. To me, I don't expect any medal from them, except some one or two individuals, because we always have a very shamble preparation. Look at all those big countries, America and co, even upcoming countries, China, all this Asia. You see the way that they prepare. Immediately they finish Olympic, they know it's 4 years time. They have already started grooming the athletes, young and old, start preparing them ahead. But our own is when it's like close to 2, 3, 4 months, you start seeing ministry running up and down. Me, I don't just understand. Is it that we are cost also? And the issue is money. Even when this money is given out, they will not spend it rightly. At the end, they will start sending forming committee up and down to come and give account how the money is being spent. Why the athletes that will do this work on the field, they are suffering? God, please make a throw more light on this. And lastly, I would take part between the second part between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Though there's no much to talk about that, but my own concern is concerning our own Anthony Joshua, because I noticed since the second fight where he take beat that Mexican guy to collect his belt back. His hype or recognition in the world of boxing have really come down. I don't know why. Because is it that because they don't be fighting for America, or a boxer that will be recognized must fight for America? Me, I won't know, because hardly you will see even all the pundits, the sport analysts, when it comes to boxing, mentioning his name. It's only either Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and some other old boxers. They hardly mention Anthony Joshua. So I want to know why is this so, and what do you think he should do to get well recognized, well recognition from all these pundits? Though it might not really matter, though, but it gives him a good brand when it comes to boxing, so that at least big match can also come to his way. Liberty Radio, make me take am from this place. Thank you.
All right, Oluwaseun, as a matter of fact, you ask questions and you answer all the questions. You took about 4 minutes. I had to listen completely. I don't think there's anything I can add. As for Barcelona, if they say they get player for the Lamasa, they for not go buy this player. The law allow them to do them, so they do what the law permits them to do. That is one. Secondly, on our Olympics and ministries and preparation, you don't talk and finish. People where they win Olympic gold back to back. Now people will be say they take 8 to 12 or 16 years to prepare their athletes, and they prepare with deliberate and strategic intention in mind. But in our own country, we prepare hoping that God, in His infinite mercy and supposedly biased way of treating people, because we in our country, we do things based on quota system, catchment area, sentiment, tribalism. We have not created a God that is tribal, that is sentimental, that is only Nigerian. So one way or the other, we think that, oh, God will just on that day faithfully and mercifully give us medal out of the ordinary. Well, it doesn't happen like that. God must be laughing at us all the way it is. Going to Anthony Joshua, I don't think he's not being mentioned. Anthony Joshua is the biggest boxer in the heavyweight category. All of these people that are fighting for his throne is already on the throne. Sometimes you take it easy on the guy who has the top because he doesn't have a fight. He fought Ruiz. Before the Ruiz fight, there was so much noise about him. So you cannot be talking about Anthony Joshua right now when there is a fight between two of the strongest contenders for Anthony Joshua's throne. I mean, you've got to talk about them. Deontay Wilder is the heaviest puncher currently in boxing, even ahead of Mike Tyson, ahead of Muhammad Ali, ahead of Lennox Lewis and the rest of them. So you've got to talk about him. And then he's an American. Let's not forget that the American media is the most powerful media in the world. Then there is Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury has something about him that people should talk about. Somebody who went into depression, who almost took his life, who almost died, who, increased his weight, to come back again. The man deserves his spot on the spotlight. So he should take it. If we want to talk about Anthony Joshua, we should be the one talking about him. Anthony Joshua is also, doing other things away from boxing, getting a national identity card of Nigeria, going to places, visiting people. That's also talk around him. They can't talk about Anthony Joshua all the time. He's not the only boxer in the world. So let's not get all emotional and biased and sentimental about it. Then finally, what was the other thing you talked about again? I'm actually caught up in all of these things, so I'm lost. Now, let me leave you because you spent time talking about it and you also answered all your question. Let me get the last caller for the day.
Hello, Electric TV Radio. My name is Samuel, calling from Ikoyi. I just want to ask, please, what is happening to Sevilla?
And finally, Samuel from Ikoyi. I don't think there is anything happening to Sevilla. This is how football, this is how I see football. When you win, and you're not strong enough to make enough money, just like Borussia Dortmund, to make enough money to keep your players, you win with set of players, and then you sell them and you bring in new players. There's going to be change. And then Sevilla have shown everybody that they are masters of the Europa. They actually drew 1-1 away from home. So you wouldn't say there's anything wrong with that. And then in the league, they are not doing well because there's no team in Spain that is actually doing well. The league have become very, very competitive, that everybody is struggling. So they've not replaced the players that they let go, and the new players that have come in have not blended in very well. And so they've also had like consistent change of coaches here and there from Unai Emery up onto the guy who's there right now. So it will take some time again for them to re-engineer themselves, get back into shape and become the team that you expect them to be. Sevilla used to be the number 3 team in Spain. And then Atletico Madrid showed up and usurped everybody and became the number 3 team or joint number 2 somehow in Spain. So Sevilla is now struggling number 4 position with people like Valencia and the rest of them. They will get back again, but they need some time to gel into being and also keep some consistency without having to sell their best legs, because once you do that, you have to start afresh again. We spent a lot of time talking today, and thank you to everybody who sent in their voice notes and messages and all that. I do hope that by the time we return on Monday, we'll have a lot more. Thank you very much for your time all through this week. Thank you for keeping the show running. Thank you for every one of you that has been in the group, and those of you that are inviting your friends and sharing our show to your friends, and sharing it on Twitter, on Facebook, and across all social media platforms. But don't forget, always subscribe to Elegbete TV YouTube channel. Subscribe to, follow us on Instagram. We are at Elegbete TV Radio. And follow me. I am Elegbete1 on Twitter as well as Instagram. Just make sure that you be the guy in the room who is providing solution, not the guy who is making things go from bad to worse. This is where I leave you. My name is Idafi Matthew Esogene. You love to call me the Liberty One of Sports. Thank you very much and have yourself a lovely weekend.